Good evening and welcome to the latest YouTube video of mine. I'm here with my friend Nick, and Nick has a few questions for me that one I know and the other are going to be surprises. So without further ado, Nick, why don't you let him rip?
Sure. So I've been following your blog and reading your book and your other stuff on Facebook and YouTube and whatnot. What is the ritual or the process that you go by from you come up with an idea to getting it out there to doing your video or your blog, and then what determines when you post it or when you don't post it?
That's a great question. A lot of what I'm influenced by and a lot of how it comes is just a variety of sources. And the funny thing is, the more that I write and the more that I get into a rhythm, inspiration just comes from anywhere. I have this fabulous Mr. Rogers calendar. It's got little different sayings on here. What is essential about you? And a little quote by Mr. Rogers. And sometimes I go off that. There's pictures I see on Facebook. There are a million different reasons, and I will sit down and start typing it. And obviously, I sit down when the inspiration comes. Sometimes you never want to force it. And if it flows, I can do two, three if I have an idea, or maybe like a series. Sometimes I do one about relationships. I did one about confidence. And I'll go on a row. And luckily, the platform I use, WordPress, allows you to schedule them. So they publish, I try to be consistent, publish posts Monday through Friday, videos on Saturday and Sunday. Mix it up a little bit, but that's generally the idea. And when it comes to writing, I also use a lot of symbolism. This little gold cup I'm drinking out of is my writing cup, and it's just a psychological tool, a weird writer thing. When I use my books, I always drink out of this cup when I write, and it just a psychological connection. And okay, so that's the question I knew about, and though the answer seems terribly sordid. So now, lay it on me. This one I have no idea what's coming. It should be fun. Or it could be so mysterious maybe Nick doesn't even know. I blame it on the Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee.
Very good. What is there a family background in storytelling or education that brought you to doing these writings and passing on this like philosophical wisdom to others?
Wow, that is a very good question. Most of my family talks incessantly. When we get together, it's a big fight for airtime. But and obviously, like any family, during the holidays, you get around, you share stories, this and that. I think the only one who really had a lot of stories with meanings or parables was my grandfather, who taught me a lot of things by way of story. Some I'm still just absorbing long after he's gone. But really, it stemmed more. I'm probably the first person in line. I'm certainly the first author in the family. Nobody else has written a book, so I'm hoping maybe it'll be a start of a tradition. And during the holidays, I'm usually the one sharing some sort of story and listening to people's issues, which is what I like to do. So it's okay with me. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So no, really, no, not a lot of family history. See, my grandfather a little bit, but no, not really.
Did you have? I know you've talked about Tony Robbins as like reading some of his stuff that gives you inspiration and whatever from time to time. Was there a moment where you saw or read something that was like, I need to do this, or was it more of a? Did it take longer to get from that first kernel to this is what I'm going to be doing or spending a lot of my time doing moving forward?
That's a great question too. A lot of influence I have, Tony Robbins probably being the main one. Eric Thomas is a new motivational speaker I like. Les Brown, and a lot of what they say, I try to put into my own words, because sometimes, as everybody knows, you can hear something, and depending on what state you're in, you could be more receptive, or just how the person speaks will give you a little more inspiration on it. I started doing this out of my own frustration that there wasn't a lot more positivity out there. And after a while, going and getting some response and some feedback from people out there, then it started to take off, and I said, you know what, this could be. I started to develop a passion for it, seeing how I could positively affect people. That's really what drove me, and it's the interaction, the response from people to this day is what keeps me going. That being said, thank you, Nick, for your time and your questions. This is my take on things, my answers to his questions. If you have any questions for me in the future, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, or for Nick himself, or make a return visit. And also don't forget the right-hand side, red word subscribe. Push that. You'll be updated with YouTube videos, or as my lovely lady reminds me, I once referred to it, the number subscribe in any of my videos. Or if you want to be up on the daily blogs Monday through Friday, go to my website, secret2&amazinglife.com. secret2&amazinglife.com. If you absorb the YouTube channels and the blog post, you'll be inspired too. You'll be able to help people, and before you know it, the light at the end of the tunnel may be you.